Hello everyone, Marty Braden signing in. It's Wednesday night, February 5th, and day 36 of my journey to alignment. Here's my to-do list for Wednesday. You can see there's about five important tasks that I highlighted in yellow that I needed to get done today. My power statement for today was pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again like it never happened. Of course, I was speaking about having to do my video recording 3 times, which took all the time I was planning on using to do my podcast scripting. So that's exactly what I did today. I started all over again and got it done. I promised myself that I would do it, and I did it. It said, get my first podcast scripted out and ready for recording, and the first podcast is my introductory podcast that I'm going to use to introduce my Mindset is Everything podcast series. So take a look at this. Right there. Okay, Mindset is Everything. Episode 1, the first step to success. And you can't tell his, but there is 14 pages. 14 pages of scripting, all done. I figured it's going to take about 20 to 22 minutes to record it. I'm thinking that if I keep them anywhere from 22 minutes to 25 minutes, that's long enough to flesh out a principle well and not lose the listener's interest. So, my first podcast is in the bank, except for the recording. I've got the written script done. It's my introductory podcast that I explained, and on it I explained what I'm doing it for and what they're going to be about. I explained the name I gave the series, which is Mindset is Everything, and I explained why I gave it that name, as well as what each of the podcasts are going to cover. This first one is about the first step to success being to get honest with yourself. That's episode 1, the first step to success of being and getting honest with yourself. So there you go. Now let me show you my to-do list that I had for today. Again, there was a lot of these. You can't see them here, right there, done. But there was a lot of tasks that I had to get done that were just simply little irritating things that you got to get done. Nothing important really. As you can see, there were 4 or 5 highlights. I got those done, and I got the podcast scripting done, and I got this a bunch of list of little to-dos done. Now, let's answer Croy's get honest with yourself questions. This is where you think about all these questions that he asks, and it's about whether you failed or if you had things you can improve on. It's really looking at yourself and trying to improve your day so you can do better tomorrow. So, did you wake up early and start strong? I certainly did. Did you start with your morning with power? I did. It's really interesting. I come downstairs with my glass of water, and I sit down, and I have the win the morning, win the day routine all typed out, and you read it. 4 or 5 pages. I read it every morning. Just tell me what I do. I pop up and I do that fast and slow breathing. Of course, I made the bed, cold water on the face, all that. But I sit down there, and when I get to that time of sipping that warm drink or tea, you sip it and just meditate for 3 or 4 minutes, and then you move right into mindfulness. During my mindfulness, I'm pre-playing my why. I'm pre-playing whatever movies my 2 amigos go and bring into me, and I go through that process, and then I have my quiet time to meditate and give prayer or whatever. It's just a great time. Then I do my reading, and like I said, I've been reading the Plus Factor, and it's just so great. Good information, feeding my brain. Like I said, one of my main goals was intellect. I want to expand my intellectual capabilities, and reading is one of the best steps to doing that. So what was the one thing out of all the things you did today, Marty, that you could improve on? What was the thing that you failed at today? Well, as I reflected on my day, I couldn't think of the thing that I could improve on or that I would consider to be a failure today. I got most of the important things done, and I got all the have-tos, those little list of have-tos, got them done. It wasn't a perfect day, but in terms of moving my goals forward and feeling successful about today was a great day. So I'm not going to spend time on a failure because there wasn't one big enough to do. Of course, I'm not perfect. There's always room for improvement, but I couldn't think of something that was big enough to turn it into a tool of success. So there wasn't a failure to turn into a tool of success today, like I said. The next question is, what was my biggest success today? My biggest success today was the fact that I, yesterday, how it went, I just simply started over and did the one thing that I wanted to get done. I wrote out my first podcast script. That was a big deal, and here's why it was a big deal. With this first script under my belt now, I now have a pretty good idea of what it's going to take each time I want to sit down and script out a podcast and do a podcast. I have the basic format now of certain things, how to start out. I've been thinking of pre-playing a little music leading into it that fades off, and I'm starting with that, and then I end, and that music fades off. That's all in my mind as well as I do the recording. But I have that 20 to 25 minutes pretty well laid out, and so I'm pretty happy about this first one. Has laid the groundwork for all the others I'm going to do. Next, what about the movies? What ones did you watch in your mind today, Marty? Did you make time for them? Like I said, I did. Every morning doing that mindfulness, journaling, and reading. That's about a half hour or more. There's certainly room to do some pre-playing of my movie, of my goals, of my dreams, of my why. And certain things happened today. So besides watching my why movie this morning, I had my podcast audio series playing on my mind all day long. Not only in the morning, but it continued on as I went upstairs and was typing out. All I could see in my mind is people clicking on a link and opening up a podcast audio and hitting the link for more and reading it if they wanted to read it. But listen to that podcast, and I could see them click a link back to the website to look at other ones that are there. I would hope to have about 20 podcasts already sitting there that they can click on and listen to. It was so exciting to me. I loved pre-playing the movie of me creating stuff like that and seeing people love it. To me, that's seeing myself succeed. The next question is, what was the one thing you did that made you feel successful? Well, just finishing that last sentence and then rereading the script of that first podcast, scripting for my Mindset is Everything podcast series, that was such a feeling of success. When I typed goodbye on it and it was done, man, did I feel excited that I got it done. I just felt terrific about that. It's hard to explain, quite frankly. I know it's just a matter of time now that I'll have ready several podcasts for the public to listen to. And that's an unreal feeling. It's just coming out of my mind to the portal of my mind. It's the world of the physical right there, black and white right there. It's going to be recorded tomorrow, and it's moving it forward. It's so exciting. Next is, what rate do you give for today's effort, Marty? Well, I gave it a 9. I let things go from yesterday. I let them go. Exhale out resistance. Breathe in success and let go out failures of the past. Thinking only forward, what can learn from them. And I started all over again as though it didn't even happen. And I just moved on and got it done today. To me, that's a 9. That's a thinking like a business owner that's a winner. That's right thinking. The next question Croy asked is, if this was the only thing you get done tomorrow, but you'd still feel successful if you did, what would that one thing be? Once you have the answer, put it into a power statement for tomorrow. Well, this is a no-brainer. My power statement I wrote out for tonight to be for my power statement tomorrow says this: I will record the podcast I scripted out today and try and find a lead-in background music clip that will overplay on me speaking and doing the podcast in the beginning and at the end, like I said. So I'm quite excited about getting that done tomorrow. Once I get this first podcast completely ready to go, like it was ready to be clicked on and listened to by people, like I said, it's going to get easier and easier to get the next podcast done. So bam, another big goal through the portal of my mind into the world of the physical. Okay, let's end this day strong. Here's what I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for the fact that I can start over and just pick myself up from where I left off and get on. Let it go. Power of the flicker. I'm grateful for erasers. You know, when you erase a pen or erase a pencil writing and you correct it and go back, I'm grateful I can make a mistake and retype it or rethink it or even redo it. A do-over. That's fantastic. I'm grateful for the power of the plus factor. I am so enjoying reading this book. You will too. Get it. Read it. It's powerful. And I'm grateful for a cold glass of water before I go to bed. Boy, am I looking forward to that. I have this large drinking thing I sit to the side of my bed, and I do about a third of it all crushed ice, and I fill it with water and come back and have a nice, cool, refreshing drink before I go to bed and leave it there. And sometimes you get hot during the night and whatever, and I reach over there and it's done, and I keep on going back to sleep. I'm looking forward to that drink before going to bed. So good. I certainly do have a lot to be grateful for today, don't I? Yes, I do. So there you go. I'll see you tomorrow night. And until then, I wish you all continued success. Good night.